Hello, wrestling fans. This is Sal Lasardo reporting in from Orlando, Florida, with this edition of Rough Cuts as Fastlane has just concluded on the WWE Network, and also it was streamed live on the Peacock, NBC's Peacock now, which will be the new home, starting with WrestleMania. Please be advised that these are my opinions only of what I thought of the show. They are not affiliated with Bill Apter or the WWE. The good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess, is what you can call this show. There were a lot of expectations and going in and kind of mixed emotions about what was going to happen with this. First of all, the match of the night I thought was Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. These guys totally put on a match. If you saw the Elimination Chamber and then the last few weeks in Raw building up, these guys delivered in a last standing match. And you just couldn't ask for anything more than both of these guys. I mean, Drew is going to get his title back at Mania, I would believe, in front of a live crowd, which is what he didn't get last year. So this was kind of basically showing the fans the Scottishman, I'm coming for Lashley. At first, I got to take care of business with Sheamus, and they both delivered a high quality, well paced, well delivered match, and could not expect anything less or anything more out of these two. I miss Sheamus's mohawk. Does anybody miss the mohawk with Sheamus? I miss Sheamus's mohawk. But Sheamus is winding down, and it's no secret that his wrestling career is coming to an end soon. And to face Drew, and with the expectations tonight, we kind of knew that Drew was going to walk away the winner, but they both just delivered in a way that you just couldn't ask for on a show like this heading into Mania. So I was very, very impressed with both men, and looking forward to seeing Drew and Lashley at Mania. And I believe Drew will get his title back in front of the live audience. So looking forward to seeing that, because he deserves to get the cheers and the ovation and the accolades from the fans. And that's something he didn't get last year. So kudos there. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan concluded the show with Edge as the special enforcer. Well, we saw a couple of things. Number one, at least this lasted longer than when Daniel won the chamber match and got squashed in a matter of seconds. So this match went back and forth, and the question was, what was Edge going to do? Well, we saw the heel of Edge in the end, claiming it's my title, it's my title. Well, JUSO came in, and Daniel inadvertently hit Edge while the main referee was knocked out earlier, and that set Edge off. And I think a lot of fans want to see the R-rated heel superstar, but remember, Roman's a bad guy too, so it'll be interesting to see how they build this up. And I kind of mentioned this to Bill, that I thought maybe we might see a triple threat match, and maybe Daniel would win that by a DQ, and we get Roman versus Daniel versus Edge at Mania, but that's not going to happen. Daniel got pinned again, so this means it's Edge versus Roman, and at Mania. Now, will Edge get his title? Yeah, we'll talk about my preview and my picks in a couple of weeks. There's a lot still to be decided in the next couple of weeks before then. But I kind of saw the heel, the bad R-rated superstar, start to appear out of it. I just still think he's going to be more cheered than Roman. So we'll see what happens with this heading into Mania. And I'll give you my picks for Mania with that. I don't want to give all my ideas and all my picks away for Mania in a few weeks. So they went a long time. I mean, they nearly went almost 40 minutes, 35 minutes or so. So it was a very good match. I would encourage you guys to see it. I mean, yeah, JUSO got involved. Edge got involved as well. And Daniel, had him. I mean, Roman was tapping, but there's no ref. So, I mean, they just delivered. I mean, they delivered a pay-per-view match as well, along with Drew and Sheamus. So, if you guys sat through this, you could not ask for anything more out of these two matches. Both these matches I gave 4 3/4 stars out of 5, 95 out of 100. in the memory of Jay Shannon for these two matches alone, because they were excellent and you couldn't ask for anything more. I don't think anybody expected this kind of quality heading 3 weeks before Mania. Let's get to the ugly part of it. Well, we kind of knew that Sasha and Bianca were not going to win the tag team title, and we might see a heel Sasha come and play again, and that's what we got. We didn't. I don't know why we had this match again when they already lost. We didn't need to set this up on a show like this. Why couldn't Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott get a shot? Maybe Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville or something, or how about getting the Iconics back together? Remember, I just did underutilized performer. How about Peyton Royce and Billie Kay would have teamed up and gotten a shot? And yeah, except we saw what we knew all along. That's that Sasha was going to be upset that Bianca cost her the match, and Sasha, kind of like the heel, and you're going to have Bianca be more the babyface. We didn't need to see it. This could have been done on SmackDown or Raw or something. There was really no need for this. I really wanted to see someone else get a shot at the title, just because we knew Bianca and Sasha were going to go. We didn't need it. So I was disappointed. A 1.25 stars at best, maybe 1.5. I was just totally disappointed with it. Matt Riddle and Retribution. Well, what was the whole point of the facet with Retribution, really? Isn't it the point was to get Retribution? And instead, Matt Riddle retained over Mustafa Ali, and then the members turned on him. What was the whole point of this facet from the very beginning? Really, guys? I mean, can someone explain that to me? What was the whole point of this? Retribution was about getting retribution for not being used and not getting titles and this and that. And instead, Ali got pinned by Riddle. What was the point of this? Another bad match. So now the two members in Mask that turned on Mustafa are gonna. I didn't make any sense at all why this facet had to begin with, and I don't know why it continued. And hopefully this is the end of it altogether, because this was just a mess. A lot of people said it was a mess in the beginning. It's a mess now, and I hope we don't see any more of it. I don't want to see any more Retribution, because there is no Retribution. There is none. Retribution means they should have gotten gold. Mustafa Ali should have gotten the title. That's Retribution. There was no Retribution here, and this facet is completely done and should be done. Seth Rollins looked like he's getting back into form. Yes, he beat Mr. Nakamura tonight. No surprise here. I want to know what's going to happen with Rollins for Mania, too. I mean, who's Rollins going to face at Mania? That's a big question mark. Where does he go? What does he do? He's definitely not facing Roman. I think he's going to I think he's going to go after the other title. I think it makes sense, and why not go after the U.S. title? I don't see any problem with it. Yeah, you have to have him do something. Is he going to be maybe being like a ladder match or something? Now you got to have him do something. Obviously, you ain't going to see him in Mysterio again. You ain't going to see him in Dominic. So you got to put him in the U.S. title picture. I think that's the only thing left for really him. He's back now, and he's not going after Roman Reigns. And he's definitely not going after Tag Gold. So you got to put him in something. I might as well go after the U.S. title. So maybe we'll see a build for the next couple of weeks for him, because there is nothing left for him. I mean, really, there's nothing left. I can't see anything more than this. Honestly, Rollins will get back into it, but I wasn't even happy with this at all. We knew we had to get matches on the card, but I wasn't happy at all. It's just a matter of what does he do for Mania now that he's back. We thought we were going to get Shane and Braun Strowman. Instead, we got Elias and Strowman, and I believe they're going to save Strowman and Shane for Mania. Shane on the grandest stage at all, and this was virtually just a squash match. I mean, Elias could only do so much, and it only did so much, but you're facing Braun, and this was just another collapse, did not deserve to be on a pay-per-view. It should have been on Raw. It had no business being on Raw, on the show. But again, you have to have some matches, and this felt more like a house show type match than anything else. I had nothing against Elias, but you want to walk with Elias. Elias wasn't walking after this. Braun Strowman just was in more or less complete control of this, and he was looking for Shane. And Shane's not going to be hard to find. He's going to find him at Mania. I saved the Alexa Bliss Randy Orton thing for last. And here's the thing, and Bill and I talked after it was over. What did you expect out of this? Well, Bill, my friend, what did I expect? First of all, a lot goes through my mind with this. This should have been a cinematic match. It shouldn't have not taken place in front of an audience because I wanted to see Alexa and Randy mix it up a little bit. And they did. Yeah, she giggled and did his Firefly Funhouse and some of the pyro stuff. But Randy never laid his hands on her. And she never laid her hands on him. Yes, we knew Bray was coming back. Yeah, okay, I buy that. But movie magic can do a lot of wonderful things. And at least to see Alexa and Randy somehow mix it up and movie magic would have been better. Instead, they taunted each other. Yeah, they did the fire thing, and she didn't do anything. Bray came out. Bray is back. He looked like something out of Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers or something, and hit the Sister Abigail, and then Alexa pinned him 1, 2, 3. But this was just awful. Randy Orton did not deserve this. He didn't deserve to be in this storyline because there really wasn't much. I mean, I know you're trying to build this thing for Mania, but I was expecting so much more. What I would have done is have the lights go out. Bray comes in and hits a Sister Abigail. Then the lights come back on. And then maybe Alexa Bliss hits a Sister Abigail. Randy Orton's like dazed, and maybe another Sister Abigail or something. I wanted to see something to get me on the edge of my seat. And I didn't see anything. We could have seen Alexa maybe, the other thing that went through my mind was that Randy hits an RKO on Alexa. Alexa's down. Bray comes up and appears as Randy's going for the pin. And then Bray hits the Sister Abigail. And then Bray does his thing and Alexa comes up. He lets her in. And then Alexa hits a Sister Abigail on Randy Orton after Orton got hit by one by Bray. And then it's 1, 2, 3. But there was nothing. It was just taunting and teasing. Randy deserved so much better. Alexa deserved so much better. Yes, Bray is back, and this sets up at Mania. But I was expecting so much more. A cinematic match, something to really get me on the edge of my seat. I think it just total failed. And I didn't think that Randy deserved this kind of thing. I agreed with Bill. Randy didn't deserve this at all. So I disappointing. I gave it a 1.5 stars. I mean, some of the pyro stuff, but I was a huge letdown. I was looking forward to this more than the rest of the card, to be honest with you. And yet, Drew and Sheamus delivered, and Roman and Bryan delivered a great quality match. We knew Edge get involved, but the rest of it was just awful. Yeah, watch Drew and Sheamus, watch Roman and Daniel. But the rest of it was just awful, and I don't know how we're gonna go into WrestleMania, but it was awful. I'm gonna answer a question from a fan, but before I do, I want to extend my condolences and deepest prayers to the Orton family. If you do not already know, Randy Orton's uncle Barry O, Cowboy Bob's brother, had passed away the other day at the age of 62. Barry O was part of the WWF days, and my heartfelt condolences to Cowboy Bob, the family, and Randy on losing a family member. We don't know what happened, but we do know that he passed away. Bill Apter did an editorial thing on something, so check it out on One Wrestling Videos. Some backstory on Barry O. So prayers to Randy and the family. Had no thing with the match or anything. Randy went on like a pro tonight, but he deserved better than this tonight. The question I got answered from, I wanted to answer before we wrap up. Alfredo, thank you for tuning into Rough Cuts. As always, I appreciate it. Al asked, with Andre leaving and potentially Charlotte maybe out the door as well, do you think now the WWE will sign Tessa Blanchard? Is Vince's hand being forced? Vince's hand is never really forced. I don't think anybody's ever really forced into anything, but I do think Charlotte's going to leave, no doubt. I do think with Andre leaving, since they are together, I definitely could see it. I think she's probably right behind, and we'll see where she ends up, if she ends up anyplace. As far as Tessa's concerned, I think she's a better fit against the WWE roster than AEW. We know she's not going back to Impact, but here's the thing. Rhea Ripley is going to appear on Monday night, the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. I truly believe Rhea Ripley and Tessa Blanchard could blow the roof off the place. At the right time, the right place, the right show, the right pay-per-view, with enough build, and with some gold involved in it, they can blow the roof off the place, hands down. Hands down, Tessa and Rhea could blow the roof off the place. Becky will be coming back, so there's definitely, we can see Rhea and Becky. Tessa could definitely do battle there. Tessa can have some warm-up with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Maybe Ronda gets back into the twofold as well. So there is plenty of opportunity, more so, and star power with Tessa, especially if Charlotte does leave on the roster, knowing Becky's coming back. Rhea's going to get her push now. She's going to appear. You got Alexa Bliss maybe away from this or involved in it some way. Nikki Cross, Sasha, Bayley. There are even Baszler. Shayna Baszler and Tessa could really have, they could really tear the place apart. I know a lot would be, well, is Tessa going to be a face or a heel kind of thing? I don't think it really matters. I think she's just going to be her own person if she gets signed. I don't think she's going to be a face. I don't think she's going to be a heel. I think she's going to be a middle-of-the-road type of character. She's going to wrestle everybody. I don't think she's going to wrestle the men. I know she loves wrestling intergender matches. If you look on YouTube and everything, remember she got the Impact title from a guy. I don't know if they're going to allow her to do it, but it's a hard sell with Tessa versus Roman, Tessa versus Drew, Tessa versus Lashley, but it's not a hard sell. Tessa versus Seth, Tessa versus Daniel, Tessa versus maybe Rey Mysterio. Those are not hard sell type matches. Elias, not her and Braun Strowman, no. Randy Orton could be very intriguing. Tessa and Randy could be very intriguing. Randy could, it's possible. There are some likely male opponents if the WWE wants to explore that, but I think she will have her hands full with enough of the female competitors, as I mentioned. And I think it would be best, especially with the way things are with the WWE and especially into WrestleMania. I do believe, Al, that we're going to see Tessa Blanchard, but I think it'll be a surprise. I don't want there to be any announcement that she's been signed. I would love to see her appear at WrestleMania as a total surprise in some way, shape, or form. We might get it. We could. Or even at SummerSlam. That would be if we're going to see it, it's got to be at SummerSlam the latest. If not, then it's not going to happen until next year, maybe at the Royal Rumble. Maybe she's a surprise entry. But I do think that Tessa's coming, and I don't think we're as far off as seeing this in the WWE as a lot of people think. I really believe we are a lot closer to seeing her in the WWE as opposed to going to AEW. I think she needs to do one thing up here. There's enough star power and enough firepower for her to be on and exposed on on a grand stage. And I think she could main event WrestleMania in a year from now. And maybe her and Rhea can go for gold. I think they blow the roof off the place. So, Alfredo, yes, I do think if I was to bet on this or as a wagering man, I think the odds are I think we will see Tessa Blanchard in the WWE before AEW, and I think we will see her this year. If it's not going to be in 3 weeks from now, the latest I could see her would be at SummerSlam or maybe as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. But I do think she will be a WWE in the WWE. Yes, I do think she's coming, and I think it'll be happening very, very soon. So for this edition of Rough Cuts, with this final recap of Fastlane, hope you enjoyed it. It failed in a lot of ways, but watch Drew and Sheamus, watch Roman and Daniel. It was worth that part of it. And again, Al, thank you for your question. I hope we answered it. I'll be back with a video next week. As always, be safe, and may every one of your matches, as always, fans, be a main event. I will see you next week. Have a good one, guys.